Just after our arrival at my brother's house in Calgary, Everett got a fever. He slept while Kenzie got her first congee from Auntie Sarah's parents visiting from China. When he awoke, he felt much better, so he took his Uncle Stephen for a bike ride on St. Patrick's Island. Unfortunately, his recovery was only short-lived. So we said goodbye and got on the Trans-Canada Highway heading east. Although our objectives for this trip are to explore Quebec and Atlantic Canada, our first goal was Niagara Falls for a family reunion on June 17th. But first, a quick visit to Sandra's cousins in Medicine Hat, where we kept our distance. The world's largest teepee, one of the many big things erected by towns across the country that make road trips that much more interesting. We crossed into Saskatchewan at sunset, where we were wowed by the beauty of the prairie skies as they wrapped themselves around the landscape, seemingly in an effort to show that they can be anything but just boring and flat. The fiery sun set and was replaced by a moon that didn't want to be left out. As we stopped to sleep at midnight, we noticed that Kenzie was next in line to be sick.
Not that one's old school enough. Here we are in the Tim Hortons drive-thru in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. Nothing is more Canadian than this.
Unless a beaver ran across in front of the van.
You can't say beaver.
So we're approaching our decision point, whether to continue east on the Trans-Canada Highway or exit south to go through the United States. And our decision is Canada. Take the long way, go through Manitoba and Western Ontario, which is, everyone says, is a delight.
Meanwhile, Kenzie was struggling with her turn with hand, foot, and mouth disease. After driving into the night, we slept in Winnipeg, near the home where I lived until I was 3, and took stock of the many casualties of our prairie drive. We could tell we were covering ground as we passed the geographical centre of Canada, and soon after into Ontario. And the landscape changed once again, and then stayed the same.
It's so nice that you're feeling a bit better.
I got the ice cream.
Yeah, your brother got ice cream. Do you think he's going to share with you? Do you think Everett's going to share his ice cream?
It's limitless.
That's very considerate.
We ate dinner for 5 minutes too long and stranded ourselves until the morning. which isn't always a bad thing. After a truck stop breakfast, we burned off some toddler energy before getting on the road to Thunder Bay, where there is one mandatory stop every Canadian must make, putting into perspective our own very minor struggles. With still energy to burn, we took a detour to Wilmette Canyon for a short hike, where it became apparent the prairies had changed Everett's concept of what constitutes a hill.
Mommy, a hill!
Are you going to do this hill with your feet up? Okay, here we go.
And when trying to fly out to capture the beauty of the canyon on a very windy day, my compass and GPS on the drone decided to call it a day. And this happened. I mourned the crash as we drove in the rain around Lake Superior. But just as the little things can make you sad, little things can also make you oh so happy.
Hold on. It's all clean now. See, it's all clean. See?
Everett and I are here on the shores of Lake Superior at Catherine Bay, I believe it is. It's another day of driving around Lake Superior. I was pretty sad yesterday after crashing my drone, and I'm looking forward to slowing things down and spending a bit more time in camp. I'm a little ashamed, like my nerves are just frazzled, and although, you know, Everett hasn't been always the best, he, will stomp on his sister's hands and push her over, and he's just not getting enough activity, and it's not like he chose to come on this trip, and, I can't be losing my cool. But I guess that's part of parenting, and that's part of traveling and being kind of stressed when you're on the go. We all make mistakes. We spent last night in White River, which is the home of Winnie the Pooh, and we found a lot of other vanners there. There's a free camping spot which inspires van life, I guess. So it's nice to have some company and talk van life for a little bit. Look at you! Whoa! Oof! Oof! Did you like waking up and seeing a train?
Yeah.
Have you had fun on this trip?
Yeah.
What's been your favorite part?
Why are you putting that on, Daddy?
Oh, just so later on, when I've forgotten everything about what happened on this trip, I can look back and remember.
So with Niagara Falls now in striking distance and Sandra taking her turn at being sick, we stopped early to do some real camping. And Kenzie continued to try and make new friends.
Just a little bit of a fuss pot, please.
After a quick hike to the falls, we got on the road through Sudbury before another stop for lunch, where it actually started to look like we were beginning to have fun.
Hey, stop laughing back there.
What's happening?
No laughing.
Is that the Vietnamese version of Jingle Bells or something? My apologies if you are Vietnamese. I got to fly in midair. Greatest thing ever. I just got to fly in midair and be like a ninja. Like a flipping ninja.
We survived almost 5,200 kilometers on the road and turned off into Niagara Falls. With all that's changed in my life over the years, we arrived at the place where I can take comfort in the fact that nothing has changed. Grandma's house. Join us next time as we travel from Niagara to Ottawa as we visit family and get a chance to experience an Ontario institution, cottage country.